There is a carbohydrate lurking in your kitchen right now that spikes your blood sugar faster than pure glucose, damages your gut lining, and silently contributes to diabetes, yet it's labeled as having zero sugar. What you're about to discover will completely change how you shop for groceries. Welcome to Healvora Official. I'm Dr. Robert. What if I told you the most harmful carbohydrate you consume isn't table sugar or candy? It is something far more insidious, a processed ingredient that costs just 20 cents per pound because government subsidies make it artificially cheap. Americans consume anywhere from 65 to 250 pounds of this substance annually, contributing to over 21 billion pounds produced each year. This ingredient appears in gluten-free products, infant formulas, baked items, and sports nutrition products. Athletes unknowingly consume it thinking they're fueling their bodies. Parents feed it to their babies without realizing the potential consequences. I'm holding 25 pounds of it right here, cost me only $5. What makes this carbohydrate so dangerous? This ingredient causes blood glucose to surge more dramatically than regular sugar. It promotes insulin resistance, which paves the pathway to type 2 diabetes. Your liver accumulates excess fat because of it. Visceral fat, the dangerous kind surrounding your organs, develops rapidly when you regularly consume this carbohydrate. Your gut microbiome suffers tremendously. Beneficial bacteria die off while harmful pathogens thrive. Inflammation spreads throughout your body, affecting your joints and digestive system. If you're worried about cardiovascular health, this substance specifically increases small particle LDL cholesterol, the type that penetrates arterial walls and causes blockages. Yet nutritional labels hide it in plain sight. The answer: industrial starch. We're discussing industrial starches, modified food starch, cornstarch, maltodextrin, and their processed cousins. These aren't the natural starches your ancestors ate from garden vegetables or whole potatoes. These are laboratory-created powders that have undergone extreme refinement. Understanding the refinement process. Natural starch consists of glucose molecules linked together in chains. Picture sugar molecules holding hands. When food manufacturers process starch industrially, they mechanically pulverize it into microscopic particles and treat it with bleaching agents. This refinement weakens the molecular bonds dramatically. Here's what happens. When you eat this powder, those fragile bonds snap apart instantly in your digestive system, flooding your bloodstream with glucose faster than if you'd eaten pure table sugar. Try this experiment. Place regular bread in your mouth without chewing. Notice how it's not sweet. Now chew it thoroughly. Suddenly it tastes sweet because your saliva breaks those starch bonds into sugars. Industrial starch skips that step entirely. The bonds are already so damaged that your body converts it to sugar almost instantaneously. The chemical cocktail. The modification process involves chemicals you should know about. Sodium tripolyphosphate is commonly used. Research links it to kidney strain and calcium deposits in blood vessels. It may contribute to bone mineral loss and accelerate arterial aging. Vinyl acetate appears in processing. Health agencies classify it as a probable carcinogen. Sodium hypochlorite. That's bleach is applied during refinement. Authorities regulate bleach in drinking water due to cancer concerns, yet food manufacturers use it freely in starch processing. Excessive exposure can damage kidneys and erode tooth enamel and mucous membranes. Another chemical widely used in baby formulas and drinks may impair mitochondrial function when consumed regularly. Here is the disturbing part. These chemicals operate under self-regulation through a designation called GRAS, generally recognized as safe. No long-term human studies verify their safety. Companies essentially police themselves. The label deception. Look at this nutrition label with me. Total carbohydrates, 16 grams, dietary fiber, 1 gram, sugars, 0 grams. Notice something missing? That leaves 15 grams of carbohydrate completely unaccounted for on the nutrition facts panel. Industrial starch becomes invisible unless you check the ingredients list for terms like modified food starch, modified corn starch, or wheat starch. Beyond blood sugar, other dangers. When your body metabolizes this processed starch, it creates damaged proteins that clog biological systems. These proteins directly contribute to diabetic complications, Alzheimer's, plaques in brain tissue, and liver fibrosis. The metabolic breakdown produces aldehydes, yes, the same chemical category used in embalming fluid to preserve deceased bodies. Another byproduct resembles the toxin responsible for alcohol hangovers. The deadly combination. Here's where things get exponentially worse. Junk food rarely contains just industrial starch. The typical formula combines starch, sugar, and seed oils, particularly when heated together during manufacturing. This creates what I call a toxic trinity. Consider these common foods: potato chips, 65% industrial; starch, 30% seed oils; crackers like Cheez-Its, 70% starch, 25% seed oils; breakfast cereals, 80% starch, plus sugar and some seed oils; commercial bread, 75% starch, 15% seed oils; pasta products, high starch content, 15% seed oils; French fries, 80% starch, 15% seed oils. We've spent decades focused on sugar as the enemy, yet we consume industrial starch in massively higher quantities and it causes more metabolic damage. Not all starches are equal, I want to be crystal clear. I am not condemning whole potatoes from your garden or natural vegetable starches. The problem is industrial processing. There is an enormous difference between cooking a fresh potato and reconstituting instant mashed potatoes that contain modified food starch. Many people claim they never eat cornstarch, but their pantry tells a different story. Check those Pop-Tarts or crackers. Modified cornstarch appears in the ingredients. They simply don't read labels carefully. Some argue organic versions are better. Look at the ingredient panel of organic processed foods. You will find similar amounts of industrial starch and seed oils as conventional products. I recently discovered something absurd. Modified food starch is the third ingredient in hot dogs. Hot dogs. They add it purely as a cheap filler to increase bulk. What actually qualifies as food? The biological definition of food is that which is eaten to sustain life and promote growth and repair of tissues. Do industrial starches, synthetic sugars, and refined seed oils meet this definition? Absolutely not. These substances fail to qualify as food by any biological standard. Yet legal loopholes allow manufacturers to label and sell them as food products, a topic deserving its own discussion. The ultra-processed food breakdown. Most junk food follows this formula: synthetic sugars, 5-20 seed oils, 20-35 industrial starches, 55-75 starches dominate the calorie content of ultra-processed foods. I've developed a free mobile app that identifies these three ingredients. Simply scan any product barcode, and it visually displays how much sugar, seed oil, and industrial starch that item contains. You sit in your kitchen or while grocery shopping to make informed decisions. The devastating statistics: young children derive 65% of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods that includes 55 pounds of industrial starch annually. Teenagers are worse. 70% of their calories come from ultra-processed sources, totaling over 106 pounds of industrial starch yearly. Adults consume 55% of calories from ultra-processed foods, equating to 67 pounds of industrial starch per year. These numbers are likely conservative estimates. The actual consumption is probably significantly higher. It is staggering that the majority of our caloric intake comes from substances that don't qualify as real food. Now that you understand how industrial starches sabotage your health, you need to learn about the second member of this toxic trio. Seed oils deserve equal scrutiny. They are just as problematic and appear in nearly every processed food alongside these starches. Click the video appearing on your screen right now to discover the truth about seed oils and complete your education on ultra-processed foods. And if you want to protect your health and stay informed about what's really in your food, subscribe to Healvora Official. We're committed to exposing hidden health threats and giving you practical solutions. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss vital information that could transform your well-being. Your health is worth defending. Let's do this together.